Hey, welcome to part 5 of my DVD update. I'm Dual666, and moving right along, we've got Prom Night. Good old American slasher film. You gotta love it. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, a lead role, and this movie was famous for its decapitation scene at the end. I don't want to ruin anything, but I recommend this for sure. Very good slasher film. And here we have the sequel, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. I also like this movie a lot, and there was another sequel that was almost a comedy horror, and it was okay. And then there was a fourth sequel that was pretty horror, and I liked it a lot. And then there was the remake, which I did not like at all. But I don't have those on me. But check them all out. They're all worth a watch. This one, I don't know if I'm not sure which update it was. Maybe it was the third or fourth. But I got this at Rite Aid along with them. It's the Psycho Killers 3-pack, and it has Kiss the Girls Goodbye, and Wes Craven's Chiller, and Bloodlust. And I haven't seen any of these yet, so I don't really want to base any opinions on them. But I'll let you know how those go. And this one, my cousin Mike gave me this because he already had it, and a friend bought it for him. So he brought it over one day and said, "Hey, you can have this." And it's Red Eye, and it's about this guy that's gonna kill this girl on a plane, but nobody knows it, nobody believes her, they're not taking her seriously, and good film. Check it out. Very unique. It's like Snakes on a Plane, but like good. And oh man, these next films are by far some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. The first two are the best, for sure, hands down. And it's The Return of the Living Dead. This is a special edition. The first copy that I always saw as a child is not available anymore. But probably my favorite zombie film ever. It's just that good. It's got comedy elements. It's got a lot of good gore. It's just amazing. Same thing with number 2. I mean, I like number 1 better, but number 2 is awesome. Go pick them up. A lot of people say they don't like number 2, but I don't know. I'm not lying to you. But I like number 2. Number 3 was not comedy at all, though. It really was like a zombie love story, and for that I didn't like it all that much. But it's worth a watch. Check it out if you can find it. And 3 and 4 or 4 and 5 came in a 2-pack. I got these for Christmas last year. And number 4 is Necropolis, and Rave to the Grave, and that's the unrated version. And those were also decent horror films, so go check them all out. They're all pretty good and all worth a watch for sure. Next up we have Rise of the Gargoyles, also from the Maneater series. You gotta get that little logo there if you want it to be Maneater. And this is about gargoyles that rip people apart. And like I said, Maneater films aren't the best, so don't be expecting a lot, but it's a good throwback new age horror film. Very gory. So go check that out. And this next up is this really doesn't fit in. It's not alphabetical order really, because these all have different titles, but it's I put it in R because it's Rob Zombie's 3-disc collector set, and it's got House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and then The Making of The Devil's Rejects. Now I gotta say, I didn't like The Devil's Rejects all that much. Not as a horror film. It was a good action film, had a lot of good gore, but and the making of that was pretty interesting as well. But the film I really liked out of this 3 set was House of a Thousand Corpses, and Rob Zombie was a genius when he made that movie, and he did good with the Halloween remakes as well. But House of a Thousand Corpses so far is his gem in horror movies. I recommend watching it for sure. Pick it up. In fact, try and find this, because Devil's Rejects, if you can get it with something else, definitely do that, in my opinion, because I didn't like it all that much. Next up is another Maneater series movie. See, got the little logo there. And it's Serpents, and it's about this unit of American soldiers in Iraq, and the bombing wakes up these ancient, like, man-eating worms, and they just come and kill people as they go. Typical Maneater series if you've seen any of those movies. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but see if you can rent it. I mean, it's a good throwback. Just if you're into this sort of thing, it's pretty ridiculous, but still. And these next movies, I mean, this one, the most recent one just came out this last year, but I've got Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. And what can you say about those? Gore fests. Really worth watching. And here's number 6. That. And they're coming out with a number 7 from what I've heard. Rumors, you know. Next up, I have Scream 1, 2, and 3. And I love Scream 1. Scream 2 was pretty good, and pretty good, unique storylines for slasher films, especially New Age slasher films from the 90s, when it was really getting revived. But go check them out if you haven't seen them. The first one is awesome. A lot of people stereotype it, but it was pretty good. And next up, I don't have the first 2 films. I've seen them. I love the first one. The second one was pretty ridiculous, but nevertheless, I loved it. But I found this, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get it. And it was Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. And I haven't watched these yet because I wanted to get the others and just have them in the collection before and run through them again and just have a 5 quintuple feature, whatever you want to call that. But I'll let you know how those go when I get around to watching them. This next movie, Slither, comedy horror, really gory, really cool storyline, and it's about these aliens that come to Earth and impregnate people, and like they swell up. This one chick just blows up, and a bunch of these little leech things come out and infect people. It's a really cool movie. Next up, we have Silent Hill, and I was recommended this by Sean from the Cool Duder channel. He said this was worth a watch, and he was definitely right, because this was awesome. And I know what he was talking about when he said it had that Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it, because it really did. But it was more of a new age thing, in my opinion, as well. It's basically based in 1969, and what I've said basically describes it. You know, it's got that Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it. Give it a try. It's pretty much worth a watch. This next one is by one of my favorite Italian directors, and that is Dario Argento. And this movie is called Suspiria, with the awesome theme music, that bell music. It's just amazing. The tubular bells, if you want to call them that. Get technical on me. But this was from 1977, I believe. And this movie was creepy as hell. I don't know what it was about it. My dad didn't like it when he watched it, but I loved it. So I recommend getting this. My DVD player won't even play this because it's an old shitty DVD player. I gotta get a new one. So I watch it in the living room every now and then. I really like that movie a lot. And next up, I've got another Midnight Movies double feature, and it's Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. Tales of the Crypt, great film. It's got basically it's about these guys that get trapped in a little catacomb room with the Crypt Keeper, and he tells them how they're gonna die, and basically at the end they discover, oh, they're already dead, and he sends them to hell through a gate. And it's pretty cool. And actually, Vault of Horror I have not watched yet, so I'll get back to you on that as well. And that concludes this part of my DVD update. And I'll see you on the next one.